Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and critical topic, AI ethics from a data science perspective. I'm Mirko Peters, the founder of Data and Analytics, and I'm excited to guide you through this journey. Whether you're an experienced data scientist, a tech enthusiast, or simply curious about how AI impacts our world, you're in the right place. Here's what you'll gain by staying with me through this presentation. First, we'll uncover the foundational principles of AI ethics, things like fairness, accountability, and transparency. These are the building blocks for creating technology that aligns with human values. Next, we'll dive into real-world examples of AI systems, exploring what happens when ethics are overlooked and how these lessons can lead to better innovation. Finally, we'll discuss actionable strategies to help you incorporate ethical practices into your projects, ensuring your work in AI or data science makes a positive impact. By the end of this session, you'll have a clear understanding of why ethics matter in AI and how you can help shape a future where technology truly benefits society. Welcome to the new era of video creation with Jog AI. Simply type your script to get started. Let's begin with a question that cuts right to the core of this discussion. What are the ethical dilemmas we face in AI today? AI isn't just a buzzword or some far-off futuristic idea anymore. It's here, and it's deeply embedded in our everyday lives. Think about it. AI is helping doctors diagnose diseases. Judges make decisions about sentencing, and companies decide who gets hired. These are life-changing, high-stakes areas, which means the decisions made by these systems carry significant weight. But here's the challenge. Those decisions aren't always fair, unbiased, or transparent. AI systems often reflect the imperfections of the data they're trained on and sometimes even amplify them. This brings us to the stakes. What happens when an algorithm designed to assist doctors exposes sensitive patient information because privacy wasn't prioritized, or when a predictive policing algorithm unfairly targets specific communities, reinforcing societal inequalities? These are not hypothetical situations. They are real, and they are happening today. This is why ethical frameworks are not just important, they're urgent. Without clear guidelines and principles, AI can perpetuate harm, amplifying biases, violating privacy, and even undermining public trust in critical systems. And the effects ripple out to every part of society, from individual rights to institutional accountability. Now, here's where we come in. Those of us building and deploying these systems. Responsibility isn't just a buzzword. It's the foundation of everything we do. As data scientists, AI practitioners, or even as informed citizens, we must ask ourselves the hard questions. Who benefits from this technology? Who could be harmed? And most importantly, how do we ensure AI serves humanity positively and equitably? This opening question is not just a starting point, it's a lens. As we move through this presentation, I want you to keep asking yourself, what role can I play in addressing these dilemmas? What can I do to ensure that the AI systems I build or use align with ethical principles? By the end of this session, you'll not only have a better understanding of the challenges, but also the tools and frameworks to tackle them effectively. Let's dive in and start shaping a future where AI helps humanity thrive responsibly. Now that we've set the stage with the question of ethical dilemmas, let's dig deeper into why this conversation is so crucial and the foundational knowledge we need to navigate it effectively. First, the importance of AI ethics. As AI continues to evolve, it presents us with incredible opportunities, but also complex challenges. Think about issues like bias in algorithms, where certain groups are unfairly disadvantaged, or privacy concerns that arise when personal data is mishandled. Without addressing these challenges, the very tools designed to improve our lives can end up causing harm. The stakes are high, and so is the potential for misuse if we don't integrate ethics into the design and deployment of AI systems. Welcome to the new era of video creation with Jog AI. Simply type your script to get started. But there's also an opportunity here. Embedding ethical considerations into AI development can have a transformative impact. It builds trust, improves decision making, and ensures compliance with regulations, paving the way for better societal outcomes and innovation that's both responsible and sustainable. In short, ethical AI isn't just about avoiding harm, it's about creating systems that serve everyone fairly. Second, we need a strong foundation in AI and data science. To understand and solve ethical challenges, we need to start with the basics. What is AI? How do algorithms work? How is data collected, processed, and used to make decisions? Without this knowledge, it's impossible to fully grasp where things might go wrong or how to prevent it. And here's the thing, AI isn't just a technical field, it's interdisciplinary. It intersects with ethics, sociology, law, and even philosophy. That's why understanding these broader perspectives is so important when we think about the impact of AI on society. Lastly, ethical frameworks and principles. Fairness, accountability, transparency. These aren't just buzzwords, they're the pillars of ethical AI. Understanding these principles and how they apply to real-world systems is essential for ensuring the technologies we build and use align with societal values. Think of them as a compass, guiding us through the complex landscape of AI development. To sum it up, ethical AI starts with a commitment to addressing dilemmas, a solid understanding of AI technologies, and a grounding in core ethical principles. These are the building blocks we'll need as we move through this presentation. As we move to the next section, keep in mind how these elements, ethics, technical knowledge, and principles can come together to shape a better future for AI. Let's take a closer look at the foundations. To truly address the ethical challenges of AI, we need to start with a strong foundation. Think of it like building a house. You need a solid structure before you can design something meaningful. This section introduces the three key pillars that form the foundation of ethical AI development. First, understanding AI and data science. At its core, AI is about machines learning from data to make decisions. But what does that mean in practice? It means we need to grasp concepts like machine learning, algorithms, and data processing. These are the engines driving AI, and they're often where ethical concerns start to emerge. For example, if the data feeding these systems is biased, the outputs will reflect and even amplify those biases. AI is also highly interdisciplinary. It's not just a branch of computer science, it intersects with ethics, sociology, law, and even psychology. Why does this matter? Because when AI systems make decisions, whether it's approving a loan, recommending medical treatments, or assigning a risk score, they're affecting real lives. Understanding these broader implications is critical to building systems that are both effective and equitable. Second, ethical principles in technology. Fairness, accountability, and transparency. These are not just abstract ideas, they are practical tools. Fairness ensures systems treat people equitably. Accountability holds creators responsible for the impact of their algorithms. Transparency makes the inner workings of AI understandable, building trust and reducing harm. These principles guide us in designing systems that align with societal values, and they remind us that AI isn't just about efficiency, it's about trust. For example, if an AI tool is used to screen job candidates, fairness ensures that all demographics have an equal opportunity, while accountability ensures the developers are held responsible if the tool discriminates. These principles are what prevent harm and promote trust. Finally, regulatory and legal frameworks. No matter how advanced or ethical an AI system might seem, it also needs to comply with laws and regulations. Frameworks like GDPR in Europe or the AI Act set standards for privacy, accountability, and fairness. But regulations aren't just about rules, they're about anticipating the future. Emerging guidelines will shape the landscape of AI ethics for years to come, ensuring we adapt to new challenges as they arise. So, to summarize, these three pillars, technical understanding, ethical principles, and legal frameworks, form the foundation of responsible AI. They are the starting point for any ethical discussion or project. Without them, we're building on shaky ground. As we move forward, we'll explore how these principles translate into real-world AI practices. Let's continue. Now that we've established the foundation, let's take a closer look at the key principles that guide ethical AI development. Think of these as the core values we must uphold to ensure AI systems serve humanity in a positive and equitable way. We'll focus on four: fairness, accountability, transparency, and privacy. First, fairness. Fairness means that AI systems should treat all individuals equitably, avoiding biases that can lead to discrimination. For example, imagine an AI hiring tool that disproportionately favors certain demographics over others. That's a fairness issue, and it's one we can address by identifying and mitigating biases in both the data and the algorithms. Fairness isn't just a technical problem, it's a social one. Ensuring inclusivity in AI systems promotes trust and reduces harm. Second, accountability. Accountability ensures that there are clear lines of responsibility for AI outcomes. Here's why this matters. When an AI system makes a mistake, whether it's a wrongful denial of a loan or a misdiagnosis in healthcare, someone has to be held responsible. Developers, organizations, and even users need to establish mechanisms for redress and oversight. Accountability isn't just about assigning blame, it's about creating systems where mistakes can be acknowledged and corrected. Third, transparency. Transparency is about making AI systems understandable. If stakeholders, whether they're users, regulators, or the general public, can't see how decisions are being made, it creates distrust and suspicion. Think of transparency as the flashlight in a dark room. It shines a light on the algorithms and data sources, helping us understand and scrutinize AI decisions. Transparency fosters trust and allows us to hold systems accountable. Finally, privacy. Privacy is foundational to ethical AI. AI systems often rely on personal data, and it's our responsibility to ensure that this data is collected, stored, and used in ways that respect individuals' rights. Whether it's safeguarding medical records or ensuring social media algorithms don't exploit private information, privacy protections are essential. Without them, we risk eroding trust and violating the very principles of dignity and autonomy. Together, these four principles, fairness, accountability, transparency, and privacy, act as a compass for ethical AI. They're not just abstract concepts, they're practical guidelines for designing and deploying systems that align with societal values. As we move forward, we'll see how these principles are applied in real-world scenarios and why they're critical for addressing AI's ethical dilemmas. Let's continue. Let's dive deeper into one of the core principles of ethical AI, fairness. Fairness is more than just a goal. It's a commitment to ensuring that AI systems work equitably for everyone, regardless of demographic background or identity. What does fairness in AI mean? At its essence, fairness is about creating systems that make unbiased decisions. It means AI should treat people equitably and avoid perpetuating discrimination or inequality. For example, think about an AI-powered credit scoring system. If the training data reflects historical biases, like lower credit access for specific communities, the AI could end up reinforcing those same biases, denying loans unfairly. That's what we want to avoid. Addressing fairness is not just a technical challenge, it's a societal one. The decisions AI makes can have profound consequences on people's lives, from access to healthcare to hiring decisions. Ensuring fairness means we're not just building technology, we're building trust. How do we ensure fairness? There are two main strategies. One, bias detection and mitigation. The first step is to identify biases in the data and algorithms. This involves using diverse datasets and fairness-aware algorithms. For example, if you're building an AI for facial recognition, ensuring that your dataset includes diverse representations of age, gender, and ethnicity can help reduce inaccuracies and bias. Techniques like reweighting data or modifying algorithms to prioritize fairness can also be applied. 2. Continuous monitoring. Fairness isn't a one-time effort, it's an ongoing process. After deployment, AI systems need regular evaluation to ensure they remain fair as societal norms and values evolve. For example, imagine a hiring algorithm deployed in a rapidly changing workforce. Continuous monitoring ensures it adapts to these changes and continues to make fair decisions over time. Why is fairness important? Unfair AI systems don't just harm individuals, they erode trust in the technology itself. If people believe that AI is biased or unjust, they'll resist its adoption, even in areas where it could genuinely improve lives. On the flip side, ensuring fairness builds credibility, strengthens societal trust, and enables AI to reach its full potential. Fairness in AI isn't just about avoiding harm, it's about actively promoting equity and inclusivity. As we move forward, let's consider how fairness intersects with other ethical principles like accountability and transparency. Together, they form a holistic approach to responsible AI. Now let's turn our attention to accountability, arguably one of the most critical principles in AI ethics. Without accountability, it becomes nearly impossible to trust AI systems or hold organizations responsible for their impacts. What is accountability in AI? Accountability refers to the obligation of individuals and organizations to take responsibility for the outcomes of AI systems. It means someone must be answerable for how these systems are designed, deployed, and operated. Think of accountability as the safety net. It ensures that when things go wrong, there are processes in place to address the issue and prevent it from happening again. Why does accountability matter? It's essential for trust. When users and stakeholders know that AI systems are built with ethical considerations in mind, they're more likely to adopt and support those systems. For instance, if an AI-powered medical tool misdiagnoses a condition, accountability mechanisms ensure that the error is corrected and the harm mitigated. Without accountability, the blame often falls into a black box, leaving users frustrated and the system distrusted. What are the key components of accountability? There are three main elements to focus on. Traceability. This is the ability to track and understand how an AI system makes decisions. Traceability requires detailed documentation, like the data sources used, the algorithms applied, and the logic behind the decisions. For example, in a loan approval system, traceability would allow us to see why one applicant was approved while another was denied. 2. Responsibility. It's vital to clearly define who is responsible for the outcomes of AI systems. Is it the developer, the organization deploying the system, or perhaps the end user? Establishing responsibility ensures that when something goes wrong, there's no confusion about who needs to step in and address the problem. 3. Redress mechanisms. When harm is caused, there must be processes for addressing grievances and rectifying the issue. This could involve giving users a way to report problems, seek compensation, or demand corrections. For example, if a self-driving car makes an error, redress mechanisms ensure that victims have a clear path to justice. What are the challenges of accountability? Accountability in AI is easier said than done. The complexity of AI systems makes it difficult to pinpoint where responsibility lies, especially when unintended consequences occur. Additionally, regulations around AI are still evolving, creating uncertainty about standards and expectations. This is why proactive measures, like adopting ethical guidelines, engaging stakeholders, and conducting regular audits, are so crucial. Strategies to enhance accountability. Organizations can implement ethical guidelines and frameworks that outline accountability principles. Stakeholder engagement also plays a key role, ensuring that diverse perspectives are considered during development. Finally, regular audits and assessments can help evaluate compliance with ethical standards and identify areas for improvement. Accountability is what bridges the gap between AI systems and the people they impact. By establishing clear responsibilities, ensuring transparency, and creating systems for redress, we can build AI technologies that are both trustworthy and ethical. Let's move forward to explore the next principle, transparency. Now let's talk about transparency, a principle that is absolutely foundational to building trust in AI systems. Transparency is about making AI understandable. It's what turns AI from a mysterious black box into a tool people can rely on with confidence. Why is transparency important? Let's start with trust. When people interact with AI, whether it's a recommendation system, a hiring algorithm, or a financial decision-making tool, they need to know how it works. If an AI system makes decisions that seem arbitrary or unexplained, users are left wondering, why did it do that? Can I trust it? Transparency answers those questions. It fosters trust by showing exactly how and why decisions are being made. Another key benefit of transparency is its role in reducing bias. If the workings of an AI system are clear, we can examine its algorithms and data sources, identify areas where bias might exist, and take steps to correct it. Think of transparency as a window. It lets us see inside the system, allowing for scrutiny and improvement. How do we enhance transparency in AI? There are two main strategies. 1. Open algorithms. One way to make AI systems more transparent is by using open source algorithms. Open algorithms allow external experts to scrutinize and validate the system, encouraging collaborative improvement and accountability. For example, if an organization releases the code for its facial recognition software, researchers can evaluate it for accuracy, bias, or potential misuse. 2. Explainable AI, XAI. Explainable AI takes transparency a step further by providing clear, user-friendly explanations for its decisions. Let's say an AI model denies a loan application. Instead of simply saying application denied, an explainable AI system would tell the user the application was denied because your credit history doesn't meet the threshold. This not only builds trust, but also empowers users to take action based on the explanation. The challenges of transparency. While transparency is vital, it's not always easy to achieve. AI systems are often highly complex, and simplifying their processes into human-readable explanations can be a significant challenge. Moreover, organizations might hesitate to make their algorithms public for fear of losing competitive advantage or exposing sensitive intellectual property. Balancing transparency with practicality is an ongoing challenge in AI ethics. Why transparency matters. Ultimately, transparency creates a more informed and empowered public. It helps users understand AI systems, regulators ensure compliance, and developers improve their models. Without transparency, AI risks becoming something that people fear or reject. With it, we can build systems that are trusted, fair, and accountable. Transparency doesn't exist in isolation. It works hand in hand with principles like accountability and fairness. Together, they create a framework for ethical AI that's both effective and equitable. Now, let's move on to a real-world example of how ethical issues in AI play out. Let's ground this discussion in reality with a powerful case study. AI bias isn't just a theoretical issue, it has real-world consequences that affect people's lives. One well-known example is the COMPAS algorithm. What is COMPAS? COMPAS stands for Correctional Offender Management Profiling for Alternative Sanctions. It's a risk assessment tool used in the U.S. criminal justice system to predict the likelihood of a defendant reoffending. Judges have used this tool to make decisions about bail, sentencing, and parole. At first glance, it seems like a helpful innovation, a way to make the justice system more data-driven and efficient. But here's the problem. Investigations revealed that the COMPAS algorithm was biased. Studies found that it disproportionately flagged Black defendants as high risk compared to white defendants, even when their actual likelihood of reoffending was the same. This racial bias raised serious concerns about the fairness and reliability of the system. The impact of bias on decision-making. Let's think about the implications. When an algorithm like COMPAS is biased, it's not just making statistical errors, it's perpetuating systemic inequalities. Black defendants labeled as high risk are more likely to face harsher sentences or be denied parole, even when the evidence doesn't support those outcomes. This isn't just unfair, it undermines the very principles of justice that the system is supposed to uphold. What went wrong? The bias in COMPAS stems from the data it was trained on. Historical data from the criminal justice system reflects existing disparities and systemic biases. When this data was used to train the algorithm, it carried those biases forward, amplifying them in the process. It's a classic case of garbage in, garbage out. If the data is flawed, the system's predictions will be too. What can we learn from this? This case highlights the importance of addressing bias at every stage of AI development. It's not enough to assume that algorithms are neutral just because they're mathematical. We have to ask tough questions about the data we're using, the assumptions we're making, and the outcomes we're producing. Fairness and accountability are not optional, they're essential. Moving forward. The COMPAS case serves as a wake-up call for all of us working in AI and data science. It's a reminder that the decisions we make as developers, practitioners, or policymakers have real consequences. By embedding fairness, transparency, and accountability into our processes, we can avoid repeating these mistakes and ensure that AI systems truly serve justice, not undermine it. With this case study in mind, let's look at another area where ethics in AI is critical: healthcare. Let's shift gears and explore another critical domain where AI ethics plays a pivotal role: healthcare. In this field, the stakes couldn't be higher. AI technologies are not just influencing decisions, they're impacting lives. From diagnosing diseases to recommending treatments, AI has the potential to revolutionize healthcare. But with great potential comes significant ethical responsibility. What are the ethical challenges in healthcare AI? Healthcare presents a unique set of challenges, including patient privacy, data security, and bias. Imagine an AI system designed to predict patient outcomes. If the data it's trained on is skewed, perhaps underrepresenting certain demographics, the system's recommendations might lead to unequal treatment outcomes. Similarly, if a diagnostic AI isn't transparent, healthcare providers might be hesitant to trust its recommendations, undermining its usefulness. Key ethical considerations. Let's break these challenges down. Patient privacy. AI systems in healthcare often rely on sensitive data like medical histories, test results, and genetic information. Protecting this data is not just a legal requirement under regulations like HIPAA, it's a matter of trust. If patients feel their data isn't secure, they may hesitate to engage with AI-driven healthcare solutions. Bias and fairness. Like the COMPAS example, bias in healthcare AI can lead to harmful consequences. For instance, if an algorithm is trained predominantly on data from one demographic, it might perform poorly for others. This can result in misdiagnoses or unequal access to care, further exacerbating health disparities. Real-world applications of AI in healthcare. Let's look at two key areas where ethical AI can make or break outcomes. Predictive analytics. AI systems that predict patient outcomes, like the likelihood of readmission or treatment success, must be transparent and explainable. If healthcare providers can't understand how the system arrived at its predictions, they're less likely to trust and act on them. Clinical decision support. AI tools that assist in diagnosis or treatment planning must prioritize human oversight. These tools should empower healthcare providers, not replace them. For example, an AI might flag a rare condition as a possible diagnosis, but it's the physician's responsibility to review and confirm it. Best practices for ethical implementation. How do we address these challenges? It starts with stakeholder engagement. Involve patients, healthcare professionals, and ethicists in the development process to ensure diverse perspectives are considered. Continuous monitoring is also essential. AI systems should be regularly evaluated to identify and address ethical issues as they arise. Why this matters. Ethical AI in healthcare is not just about avoiding harm, it's about unlocking the full potential of technology to improve lives. When patients and providers trust AI, it opens the door to better outcomes, more efficient care, and innovations that benefit everyone. Healthcare shows us how high the stakes are when it comes to AI ethics. Now let's explore broader strategies for ensuring ethical AI across all domains. Now that we've explored specific examples of ethical challenges in AI, let's talk about solutions. What strategies can we implement to ensure AI systems are ethical, fair, and trustworthy? This is where theory meets practice, and where principles like fairness, accountability, and transparency become actionable. Implement fairness metrics. The first step to ensuring fairness is to measure it. Fairness metrics help us evaluate whether an AI system is treating different demographic groups equitably. For example, statistical methods can assess disparities in outcomes, like whether a hiring algorithm is favoring one group over another. By identifying these biases early, we can take corrective actions before deployment. 2. Enhance transparency and explainability. Transparency isn't just a best practice, it's a necessity. Building models that provide clear, understandable insights into decision-making processes fosters trust and accountability. This involves creating documentation that explains the data sources, algorithms, and assumptions behind the AI system. For example, an AI system used in lending could show applicants why their loan was approved or denied, empowering them with actionable feedback. 3. Engage stakeholders in ethical discussions. Ethical AI is not developed in isolation. It requires collaboration between diverse groups, including ethicists, community representatives, and domain experts. Conducting regular workshops and feedback sessions ensures that different perspectives are considered and potential ethical issues are addressed. This is especially important for AI systems that impact marginalized or vulnerable populations. 4. Foster a culture of continuous learning. AI ethics is not a one-and-done effort. It's an ongoing process. Organizations should implement training programs to educate data scientists and AI practitioners on ethical considerations. This helps build a culture of responsibility where teams are proactive about identifying and addressing ethical challenges. Utilize ethical impact assessments. Before deploying an AI system, conduct a thorough ethical impact assessment. This involves evaluating the potential risks and implications of the technology, from bias and privacy issues to societal impact. The goal is to identify risks early and implement mitigation strategies, ensuring that the AI aligns with ethical principles. 6. Monitor and improve continuously. Even after deployment, the work doesn't stop. Regular audits and evaluations are crucial for ensuring that AI systems remain ethical as they adapt to new data and environments. This feedback loop allows for ongoing improvement and accountability. Why these strategies matter. When we embed these strategies into the development lifecycle, we're not just building better AI systems, we're building trust. Ethical AI fosters public confidence, reduces risks, and ensures compliance with legal and regulatory frameworks. Most importantly, it ensures that the technologies we create serve humanity in a positive and equitable way. As we move forward, let's recap the importance of integrating ethics into every stage of AI development. Let's continue. Let's take a closer look at one of the most actionable strategies for ethical AI, conducting ethical audits. Think of these audits as regular checkups for your AI systems, ensuring they align with ethical principles and don't stray into unintended consequences. Here's how the process works, step by step. Identify ethical standards. The first step is to establish clear ethical standards relevant to your project. This includes principles like fairness, accountability, and transparency. These standards serve as the foundation for the entire audit process. For example, if you're developing an AI for hiring, fairness might include ensuring that the system doesn't discriminate based on gender or ethnicity. 2. Gather data and stakeholder input. Next, collect relevant data and engage with stakeholders, including developers, users, and affected communities. This ensures that you're considering diverse perspectives and identifying potential ethical concerns that might not be obvious at first glance. For instance, engaging with underrepresented groups can reveal biases that might have gone unnoticed. 3. Evaluate AI systems against standards. Once the data and input are collected, it's time to conduct a thorough evaluation of the AI systems. This involves assessing algorithms for bias, reviewing decision-making processes, and ensuring compliance with legal and regulatory frameworks. For example, a facial recognition system could be tested to ensure it performs equally well across all demographic groups. 4. Document findings and recommendations. Transparency in reporting is critical. Compile the results of the audit into a comprehensive report. This document should outline any identified ethical issues, their implications, and actionable recommendations for improvement. For instance, if a bias is found, the report should include strategies for mitigating it. Implement changes and monitor progress. Finally, implement the recommended changes and establish a monitoring system to track the effectiveness of these adjustments over time. Ethical considerations aren't static. They evolve as technology and society change. Continuous monitoring ensures that your AI systems stay aligned with ethical principles throughout their life cycle. Why this matters: ethical audits are not just a reactive tool, they're a proactive approach to building better, more trustworthy AI systems. By identifying and addressing ethical issues early, organizations can avoid harm, comply with regulations, and build public trust. Next, we'll explore how to engage stakeholders effectively in your AI projects. Let's continue. Let's talk about engaging stakeholders in AI projects. Here's the thing. Building ethical AI isn't something we can do in isolation. It's not just a technical exercise, it's about collaboration and co-creation. We need to actively bring people into the conversation, people who will use, regulate, or be impacted by the technology we're building. And to do that, communication is key. The first step is creating a culture of open dialogue. If we're not transparent about what we're working on or open to feedback, we risk missing critical insights. Regular updates are a great starting point. Imagine sharing project progress with stakeholders early on, like sitting down with community leaders or regulators to discuss potential concerns before they escalate into problems. When everyone's informed, it builds trust and lays the groundwork for better decision-making. But communication can't just flow one way. We need to actively listen too. That's why feedback mechanisms are so important. Think of things like surveys, workshops, or even informal discussions where stakeholders can voice their thoughts and concerns. Let's say you're building an AI system for public services. Getting input from people who will actually use the system can surface issues you might never have considered otherwise. Once that dialogue is in place, it's time to make sure the right voices are at the table. Internal stakeholders, like your development team or management, bring technical and strategic expertise. But it's equally critical to engage external stakeholders like customers, community members, or even advocacy groups. They're the ones who can give you insights into real-world impact, highlighting things that technical teams might overlook. Here's the big takeaway. This isn't just about ticking off a box labeled stakeholder engagement. It's about building AI systems that reflect the values and needs of the people they serve. By engaging the right people and keeping the communication channels open, we can uncover blind spots, address concerns early, and create technology that's more ethical and effective. It all comes back to trust. If people feel like their voices matter, they're more likely to support and adopt the systems we build. So how do we take these ideas further? Let's dive into some of the most common ethical pitfalls in AI and how we can avoid them. Let's face it, AI is a powerful tool, but it's not immune to mistakes. In fact, without careful consideration, AI systems can fall into some pretty serious ethical pitfalls. And the worst part? These issues often go unnoticed until they've already caused harm. So let's explore some of the common challenges we face when it comes to ethical AI. First, there's bias in the data. This is a big one. AI systems learn from the data we feed them. And if that data is biased, the system's decisions will be too. Think about it. If the historical data reflects societal inequalities like income or hiring disparities, the AI will inherit and potentially amplify those biases. This leads to discriminatory outcomes that disproportionately affect marginalized groups. The result? People lose trust in the system, and the harm can snowball into larger societal issues. Another major pitfall is the lack of transparency. Many AI systems operate like a black box. Decisions come out, but no one really understands how or why they were made. And that's a problem. When users or stakeholders don't understand how a system works, trust erodes. Imagine being denied a loan or a job and not knowing why. It's frustrating, unfair, and creates a sense of powerlessness. Transparency is about shining a light into the black box so that everyone can see what's going on inside. And then we have the challenge of accountability, or rather, the lack of it. When something goes wrong, who's responsible? Is it the developers, the organization deploying the system, the end users? In many cases, it's hard to pin down exactly where the responsibility lies, and that lack of accountability makes it difficult to fix problems or hold people accountable for harm. It's like playing a game where no one's keeping score. No one feels responsible for the outcome. These pitfalls, bias, opacity, and accountability, are like landmines in the field of AI development. If we don't actively address them, we risk losing public trust and causing real harm to the people our systems are meant to serve. The good news is, these challenges aren't insurmountable. By being proactive, staying transparent, and embedding ethical principles into every step of the development process, we can avoid these traps and build systems that truly make a positive impact. But to do that, we need to take a closer look at how to prevent these issues from happening in the first place. Let's explore what that looks like. Now that we've explored some of the most common ethical pitfalls in AI, let's talk about how we can avoid them. Prevention is key. Addressing ethical issues early and consistently can save us from much bigger problems down the road. So, how do we stay ahead of these challenges and build ethical AI from the ground up? It starts with establishing clear ethical guidelines. Think of these guidelines as the moral compass for your AI systems. They set the boundaries and expectations for what the technology should and shouldn't do. For instance, if fairness is a priority, your guidelines might outline the importance of eliminating biases in training data or ensuring algorithms are inclusive. These principles ensure that your entire team is on the same page, working toward the same ethical goals. Next, we need to conduct regular ethical audits. These audits are like routine checkups for your AI systems, making sure they're aligned with those ethical guidelines we just talked about. During an audit, you evaluate the system's performance, look for potential biases, and assess compliance with legal and regulatory standards. The idea is to catch issues early before they grow into larger systemic problems. It's not about pointing fingers, it's about improving the system and protecting its users. Another critical step is engaging diverse stakeholders throughout the development process. This is where collaboration becomes so important. By involving ethicists, technologists, community representatives, and other key voices, you ensure that a wide range of perspectives is considered. These stakeholders help you identify blind spots and anticipate potential consequences that might not be obvious from a purely technical standpoint. Training and education also play a huge role in prevention. It's not enough to develop ethical AI systems. We need to empower the people building them to make informed ethical decisions. By providing ongoing education on ethical practices, data scientists and AI practitioners can stay informed about emerging challenges and best practices. It's about fostering a culture of responsibility and awareness within the organization. Finally, before deploying any system, ethical impact assessments are a must. These assessments help you evaluate potential risks, biases, or unintended consequences that could arise from the system's use. By addressing these issues proactively, you set your AI up for success, not just from a technical standpoint, but from an ethical one as well. Here's the bottom line. Ethical AI doesn't happen by accident. It requires intentionality, collaboration, and a commitment to doing the right thing at every step of the process. By taking these preventive measures seriously, we can create systems that are not only innovative, but also trustworthy and fair. With that, let's take a step back and reflect on the broader importance of AI ethics. What does it mean for the future of technology and society? Let's dive in. Let's take a moment to recap what we've covered and reflect on why AI ethics is so critical. At its core, AI ethics isn't just about avoiding harm. It's about building a foundation of trust, fairness, and sustainability in technology. First and foremost, ethical guidelines lay the foundation of trust. When users and stakeholders know that your AI systems are designed with ethical principles in mind, they're more likely to engage with and rely on those systems. Trust isn't just a nice to have, it's essential for adoption. Imagine using a healthcare AI or a hiring algorithm without confidence that it's fair or accurate. Without trust, the potential of AI to transform industries and improve lives is lost. Then there's the importance of mitigating bias. By addressing ethical considerations early and often, we can identify and reduce the biases that might creep into AI systems. This ensures that decisions made by AI are fair, equitable, and reflective of the diversity of the world we live in. Whether it's reducing bias in hiring, lending, or law enforcement, ethical AI makes these systems work for everyone, not just a select few. And finally, long-term sustainability. Ethical AI isn't just about the here and now, it's about ensuring that the systems we build today remain responsible and impactful for future generations. This means designing AI that evolves responsibly as technology and societal needs change. It's about guiding the innovation process to serve humanity in the long run. When you combine trust, fairness, and sustainability, you have a framework that not only advances technology, but also aligns it with the values of the society it serves. AI ethics isn't just a field of study, it's the bedrock of responsible innovation. As we look ahead, let's explore how these principles shape the future of AI. How do they influence regulatory frameworks, public trust, and adoption? Let's dive into the future implications of AI ethics. Let's shift our focus to the future and explore how AI ethics will shape what's ahead. The decisions we make today about ethical AI don't just impact the present. They lay the groundwork for how technology evolves, how it's regulated, and how it's adopted by society. One major area where AI ethics will have a lasting impact is in shaping regulatory frameworks. As AI continues to influence industries across the globe, the need for international collaboration on regulations becomes more urgent. Governments, organizations, and technologists will need to work together to establish comprehensive standards that ensure ethical practices across borders. These regulations won't just protect individuals, they'll foster accountability, ensuring that organizations deploy AI responsibly and transparently. Compliance with these evolving frameworks will also require robust mechanisms for accountability. Organizations will need to demonstrate that their systems meet ethical standards, not just through words, but through action. For instance, regular audits, detailed documentation, and public transparency will become non-negotiable in industries like healthcare, finance, and law enforcement. Ethical AI will also influence public trust and adoption. As AI becomes more integrated into everyday life, people's confidence in these systems will determine their success. When ethical practices are built into AI systems, they enhance public trust, making people more likely to embrace these technologies. For example, an AI-powered hiring tool that's transparent and fair will not only build trust with applicants, but also improve an organization's reputation and employee satisfaction. Proactively addressing bias and discrimination will be key to promoting fairness and inclusivity. By mitigating these risks, we ensure that AI systems reflect the diversity of society and empower everyone, not just certain groups. This fosters societal acceptance, which is essential for AI's long-term adoption and success. Here's what it all boils down to. Ethical AI isn't just a technological challenge, it's a societal opportunity. By embedding ethics into AI now, we're not only addressing the challenges of today, but also setting the stage for a future where innovation and responsibility go hand in hand. Let's take this one step further and reflect on how we, as individuals, can align our personal practices with ethical AI principles. Let's explore that next. Now let's turn the lens inward. As much as ethics in AI is about systems and frameworks, it's also deeply personal. It's about the decisions we make as individuals, how we approach our work, how we challenge biases, and how we ensure that the technologies we help create reflect our values. It starts with self-awareness. Take a moment to evaluate how your personal values align with the principles of ethical AI. Ask yourself, what ethical dilemmas have I encountered in my work? How did I address them? And how do my decisions reflect my commitment to fairness, accountability, and transparency? These are tough questions, but they're the foundation of ethical awareness. Another critical step is recognizing and addressing unconscious biases. Let's be honest, no one is immune to bias. It's part of being human. But the danger comes when we fail to acknowledge it. If we don't actively reflect on how our biases might influence our decisions, whether it's in data selection, algorithm design, or even defining success metrics, we risk perpetuating harm. By identifying these biases, we can take steps to mitigate them and ensure that our work leads to equitable outcomes. Engaging with established ethical frameworks is another way to ground our work in ethical principles. Frameworks like the IEE Global Initiative on the Ethics of AI provide valuable guidance for navigating complex ethical challenges. They're not just theoretical, they're tools we can use to evaluate our decisions and ensure they're aligned with the broader goal of responsible innovation. But reflecting on personal practices isn't just a one-time exercise, it's an ongoing process of learning, adapting, and holding ourselves accountable. It's about asking, am I making the right choices? Am I contributing to systems that promote trust and fairness? And am I willing to course correct when I'm not? By aligning our personal practices with the principles of ethical AI, we take responsibility for the systems we create. We ensure that our work doesn't just meet technical standards, but also serves humanity in a positive, meaningful way. Now, let's expand this conversation further. How do we encourage ethical discussions and create spaces for diverse perspectives to thrive? Let's dive into that next. Let's talk about how we can foster meaningful ethical discussions in AI. The truth is, ethics in AI isn't something any one person or organization can tackle alone. It's a collaborative effort, and creating spaces for open dialogue is essential. One of the most important steps is creating safe spaces for these conversations. People need to feel that they can raise ethical concerns without fear of judgment or repercussions. These spaces could take the form of workshops, forums, or roundtables where stakeholders from diverse backgrounds come together to discuss real-world challenges. When you have ethicists, technologists, community representatives, and regulators all in the same room, the insights you gain are richer and more actionable. It's not about debating who's right or wrong, it's about collectively solving problems. Encouraging diverse participation is key here. Ethics isn't a one-size-fits-all concept, and the more perspectives you include, the better equipped you'll be to identify blind spots and address unintended consequences. Imagine developing an AI system for public services and only consulting technologists. You'd miss out on the lived experiences of the communities the system is meant to serve. By involving individuals from various backgrounds, you ensure that every voice is heard and the ethical considerations are truly holistic. Education is another cornerstone of ethical discussions. By integrating AI ethics into education at every level, from school curricula to professional training programs, we can build a culture where ethical awareness is the norm, not the exception. Imagine a data science course where students not only learn how to build algorithms, but also critically evaluate their societal impact. This approach empowers the next generation of AI practitioners to prioritize ethics in everything they do. Continuous learning is equally important for professionals already in the field. Ethics isn't static, it evolves as technology advances. Regular professional development opportunities like workshops or conferences focused on emerging ethical challenges keep practitioners informed and prepared to adapt. The goal here is to normalize these conversations. Ethics shouldn't be an afterthought. It should be part of the DNA of AI development. By fostering open dialogue and promoting ethical education, we create a foundation for systems that are not only innovative, but also fair, inclusive, and trustworthy. Next, let's talk about how you can continue this journey with us and stay engaged in the conversation around AI ethics. Let's move to the invitation to subscribe. As we wrap up, I want to invite you to stay connected. Subscribe to our channel to join a community of professionals committed to responsible AI. You'll get access to exclusive content, practical strategies, and insights from leading experts. Together, we can shape a future where AI innovation aligns with ethical values. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and join the conversation. As we conclude, let's take a step back and reflect on everything we've explored today. AI ethics isn't just a topic or a set of guidelines. It's an ongoing journey. It's about ensuring that the technologies we develop align with the principles of fairness, accountability, and transparency while addressing the evolving challenges of our world. Embedding ethics into AI development means recognizing its profound impact on society. It's about designing systems that prioritize human rights, dignity, and equity. We've seen how bias, a lack of transparency, or inadequate accountability can lead to harm, but we've also seen how proactive strategies like ethical audits, stakeholder engagement, and continuous education can turn those challenges into opportunities for improvement. But here's the key. AI ethics doesn't stop when a system is built or deployed. It requires ongoing reflection, adaptation, and a commitment to learning. The landscape of technology is constantly shifting, and so too must our ethical standards. Every new innovation brings new questions and complexities, and staying vigilant is the only way to ensure that AI serves humanity positively. This journey isn't something we take alone. It's a collaborative effort that involves data scientists, technologists, regulators, community representatives, and every one of us as individuals. By engaging in meaningful discussions, questioning assumptions, and striving for inclusivity, we can shape a future where AI truly benefits all. So, as you leave here today, ask yourself, what role can I play in this journey? How can I ensure that my work, my decisions, and my voice contribute to ethical AI? Remember, the choices we make today will determine the legacy of AI for generations to come. Thank you for joining me on this important exploration of AI ethics. Let's continue to learn, collaborate, and innovate responsibly. Together, we can build a future where technology reflects the best of humanity. As we close, let's reflect on what this journey has taught us. AI ethics isn't just a theoretical discussion, it's a responsibility we all share as creators, users, and beneficiaries of technology. First, the imperative of ethical frameworks. Establishing robust guidelines is essential to ensure AI technologies prioritize human rights and societal well-being. Without these frameworks, we risk creating systems that perpetuate harm or inequality. Ethical frameworks provide the structure and clarity we need to design systems that serve the greater good. But ethics isn't static. It evolves with technology and society. That's why continuous reflection and adaptation are so crucial. As new challenges emerge, we must revisit and refine our ethical standards to stay relevant. This ongoing process helps maintain public trust and ensures AI remains a tool for positive change. And that's the takeaway. AI ethics isn't a box we check. It's a journey. It's about staying curious, asking the hard questions, and committing to do better every day. Whether you're a data scientist, a policymaker, or simply someone passionate about the future of technology, your voice matters in this conversation. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay informed and engaged. By joining our community, you'll gain insights, resources, and the tools to be part of this ethical movement in AI. Together, we can shape a future where technology reflects the best of humanity. Thank you for being part of this discussion. Let's keep the conversation alive and continue to innovate responsibly. Until next time, take care and stay inspired.